What's up, everybody? This is MJ, and welcome to our what's today? Wednesday training broadcast. Let me straighten up my little head wrap here. Hope you guys are having a happy hump day and that you are as excited as I am about today's topic because we are going to be talking about risk and how much is too much. So, if you've been in this group or watching my trainings any amount of time, you know I tell you that entrepreneurship is risky. And I think fundamentally, most people recognize that entrepreneurship is risky. That's why there's so much fear around entrepreneurship. That's why so many people are afraid of failure. They're afraid of making mistakes and things of that nature. And so today we're going to be talking about risk and how much is too much. But let me shut my door real quick. Okay. Can't have the door open when I'm doing my live. The boogeyman might come out. So, risk. What are we talking about when we say risk? Okay, so risk at a fundamental level just means that there is a chance that what you are doing will end up not turning out the way the way you want it to turn out. There's risk in going outside, like right now when there's a snowstorm. There's risk involved if I go to the mailbox or take my trash can out today because I could slip and fall and hurt myself. But that risk is low. So I'm going to go and take my trash can out, right? But sometimes the amount of risk is greater, and for greater risk, there's greater reward. So when you think about what insurance is, insurance just says a bunch of people put their money in a pot on the chance, it's called a risk pool, on the chance that very few people will want to take money out of the pot. When people do take money out of the pot and too many people take money out of the pot because they have insurance claims, that's when insurance companies have issues. But because those companies are willing to take on the risk of running their business based on the chance that that they'll have more money in than they're paying out, they get the rewards from that. And that's why insurance companies usually have lots of money because they're gathering in the premiums and they're hedging their bets and they're, handling their risks to such an extent that they don't lose money and they are able to invest it and make more money, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. What does risk have to do with entrepreneurship? Like we said, entrepreneurship is risky, but there's two types of risk that can be involved in entrepreneurship, at least two kinds. And one is healthy and one is not healthy. So first, we're going to talk about the unhealthy kind of risk, right? Well, first off, we're going to talk about risk in general. As an entrepreneur, what makes you different from being an employee is that your employer, whoever you work for, is the one that's taking on all of the danger of possibly losing money, of possibly going out of business. They have to shoulder all of the burden of having all these employees depending on them to make money so that they can make their money. And they're running the risk of not being received in the marketplace, not getting enough customers. And so all of those risks are involved in entrepreneurship. And there are literally no guarantees in entrepreneurship. You can plan as much as you want to. You can take all the precautions, but ultimately your business can still fail. But being willing to take that risk on anyway is why entrepreneurs are able to enjoy the rewards that they do. Now, the unhealthy kind of risk that can come up in entrepreneurship usually takes on the form of risk that is actually avoidable, right? Most people, at least people who are not smart enough to get the help that they need, they will jump out into starting a business by getting a website, buying some stuff, putting pictures of it on the website, and then jumping on social media and spamming their friends and family, hoping that they can generate some sales, usually because they don't want to pay for advertising or they don't know how to market. The risk that you take on starting a business in that way is enormous. By not laying the foundation for success, by not doing your homework, by not doing the pre-work that it takes to really be able to succeed in a retail space or really in any business, they are taking on the unnecessary risk of failure of the business, it's very likely that the business will fail when you jump out like that. You can't take a process that has 500 steps in it per se. Let's say starting a business has 500 steps and you jump all the way to step 352, starting a website, buying inventory and all that, and you haven't done the first 351 things you need to do, and then think it's still going to succeed. That is risky. And it's almost a surefire recipe to not succeed. You can't skip what you need to do to get started and then just jump out there and think that your business is going to do well. Unhealthy risk is created by just not preparing, not doing what you can do. No, there's no way to guarantee that a business will survive. But there's a bunch of things that you can do to ensure or create as much chance of success as possible. Skipping those preliminary steps and skipping laying the foundation because, well, you can't guarantee what's going to happen anyway is unwise. And that is too much risk. That is the wrong way to approach building a business. Just saying, well, I'm just going to jump out here. I'm just going to just do it. Just doing it is what people say when they don't know what they're doing. Just doing it is what people say when they're being lazy. Just doing it is what people do when they're in a too big of a rush. And that's when you're taking on too much risk in your business. That's when you are not giving yourself the best chance to succeed. When you don't do the work, when you don't want to do the planning. A lot of times it's not even because you don't want to do it. Sometimes it's because you don't know that you need to do it. You looked out and somebody told you, yeah, I just put up a Shopify and, all of a sudden the sales flowed in. Okay. You need to really question when something sounds too good to be true. You need to really question when something seems like it's too easy, when it feels like it should be more involved. Sometimes people might have a spurt of luck, but ultimately that's not sustainable over time. The reason why businesses last for years and years, those that do last for years and years, is because they have a solid foundation, and also because they have money, and also because they have a team and all these other things. Well, guess what? You need the same stuff for your business to succeed. Don't think because you're starting a small business that you can put in small effort. The same type of effort that a big chain needs, you need. Because guess what? Every chain started as a small business, but they weren't able to grow to become that chain by starting out on shaky ground. If you start out too shaky, before you have a chance to grow, you won't be able to stay in business and you're going to shut your doors. That's the thing. You can't shortcut the process because you're small, unless you only want to stay at the hobby level. If you're happy just selling stuff out of the trunk of your car, 2 or 3 sales a month, maybe you make $50 here or there, that's cool. You don't need to do any of the pre-work for a bit. That's not a business though. That's a hobby. That's a hobby. It's not a business. Even if people pay you for it. In my professional opinion, if you are not doing something on a significant level, just besides just padding your pocket for gas money, you're not in business, right? And if that's all you want to achieve, that's fine. No shade. I'm speaking to people who want the big brands, who want the $1 million, revenue streams, who want the recognition, who want multiple locations, who want the huge website bringing in $20,000 or $30,000 a month and all that kind. That's who I'm speaking to right now. And you can't shortchange the pre-work to build your business. All that stuff that you feel like, I ain't got to know all that. I don't have to plan all that. I'll just kind of do it as I go. Doing it as you go is a surefire way to never be able to quit your job and work in your business full time. Winging it is not the way to build a huge profitable brand or store. It's not. And anytime it looks like somebody didn't do a whole lot and they got the big payday, trust and believe somebody did some work behind the scenes that you just don't know about. You have to pay your dues and you have to do the groundwork. And why not do it before the momentum starts? Because here's what happens. Sometimes if you luck up and you do get some success, right? But you realize, oh, it's not sustainable. Like I used this example a few times. It was a business that sent some of their products to an influencer, and the influencer told their tribe about it, and everybody rushed out and bought it, and their site got slammed with like 1,000 orders overnight because this influencer's tribe was huge. And then they weren't able to fill it because they didn't have enough. They weren't prepared. They started writing people back talking about we work full-time jobs and we, please be patient with us. We can't handle all this. And I'm like, why did you put yourself out there if you weren't ready for the growth? Why did you put yourself out there if you weren't going to be able to handle what you claimed you wanted to handle? So here's the deal. Without that infrastructure, you might have a little bit of success. You might get lucky one day, right? But then you'll realize, oh, wait a minute. I'm still working 40, 50 hours at my day job. I don't have a team. I don't have a marketing strategy. I don't have any way to maintain this little spurt of success that I've experienced. And when I say a spurt, I mean a little spurt. Because if you don't build your business right from ground zero, you're not likely to have that big burst of success. But what happens is you get the spurt, then people come to your website and it's sold out. People come to your website and order, and it takes 4 weeks for you to ship it out because you had to now take their money and go order it and all that old hamby-scamby stuff that people be doing. You got one time, I know for me as a consumer, you got one time to show up unprofessional, and we're good. We're done. I'm going back to where I came from. And so now you would have ruined your reputation or ruined your opportunity to shine because you weren't ready, because you jumped out there and took too big of a risk by not being prepared, and now you're sunk. And it may be very difficult to reawaken people's interest in your brand and in your store once that you've already been out there and shown yourself to be trash. So that's the unhealthy type of risk. So what kind of risk? So we've talked about that's too much. Any type of unhealthy risk is too much. But what's the good kind of risk? Well, I already talked about it a little bit at the beginning. Entrepreneurship in and of itself is risky, right? You're taking a chance that your idea will be great. You'll be able to build up the following, get the consistent sales, and be able to scale to larger and larger heights before something happens to stop you. Because every business, it's a race against time before something happens that could cause you the business to fail. It's a race against time before another competitor comes in. It's a race against time before COVID-19 sweeps in and shuts the whole nation and the whole world down in a weekend. A lot of great businesses went out of business for the last time, and they'll never reopen again because of COVID. You can't predict that. So every business that's open is racing against time, racing against their competitors, racing against the next big innovation, the next big burst of technology to make sure they can stay in the game. Just because they've been open 25 years does not mean that they can get complacent and assume, oh, we got this, because as soon as they get complacent, somebody else is going to sweep in and take it. So it's risky to put your name on the dotted line for your business because it could fail. But notice I said it could fail, not you could fail. You don't fail. You set up the rules, so no matter what happens, you succeed. For me, failure is anything besides self-employed entrepreneurship. It doesn't have to be a coaching business. It can be a retail boutique, which is another business I have. It could be a scholarship. It could be anything that I choose to do. As long as I work for myself, that's success. Well, I can control that. I can control whether I work for myself. I can't control whether any given business succeeds because the market affects it in ways that I can't control. But I can prepare. I can lay the groundwork and do everything I can to ensure or increase the chances as much as I can of success. And that's really all anybody can ever do, is do your groundwork and make sure you have the best chance of succeeding. But risk, as soon as you decide to start a business, let me take that back. It's not the decision to start. The decision to start gets the momentum. But once you actually start the business, that's when you have applied some risk, because you know you can invest in inventory, you can invest in training, you can invest in a location, you can invest in supplies, you can invest in a team, and it still not do well. That's just always the risk of a business. That doesn't mean you need to focus on that. That doesn't mean you need to put all your effort and energy on, oh my goodness, this could fail, because that's what's going to make you manifest failure, focusing on it. You acknowledge it's a risk and then prepare for your success. That's very different from fearing failure, which I hear a lot in this group. And I want to help you to really shift your focus. Don't keep talking about fear of failure, because that's why you're failing. Talk about the excitement of expanding into your success. And okay, what would be failure? Okay, let me prepare and do the opposite of that so that I don't fail. But you can't operate from a standpoint of what you don't want. You need to operate from the standpoint of what you do want, which is to succeed. But you do have to take some risks. you do have to go into some spaces where there are no guarantees. That's what buying inventory is like. I don't care who promised to buy something from you. You don't know if they'll come through. You don't know if it's going to be consistent. You could buy something for your shop and people don't want it anymore. The trends swing and you're stuck. That's why stores put stuff on sale. Let me tell you something. A lot of the stuff you guys are afraid of is just a day at the office for a business that knows what they're doing. And you can be a business that knows what it's doing. That's why you're getting this training. When you see stores putting stuff on sale, that just means it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. But the way their prices are built, I guarantee they're still not losing much. If they're losing anything, because they made enough money on the front end. Prime example, Old Navy, one of my favorite stores. I was in there the other day. I bought 2 pairs of pants that were 91 cents a piece. Now, this is 2021. Those kind of prices didn't even exist. Those were a steal when I was a child. They are definitely a steal now. You hardly ever see garments, nice garments, for 91 cents. But there they were. I guess they had probably cleared out months before, and then somebody returned them. And I don't know why they were there. I snatched them up because they were my size. So you look at 91 cents, but then I look at the original price was, well, I don't even know. I never paid their original price. So I don't even know. I think it might have been 35 bucks or whatever for the pants. So you have to ask yourself, why would they sell it for 91 cents if they really wanted $35? Well, what was happening was they had more of them than they could sell for $35. They knew if they put $35 back on those pants, they probably wouldn't have been able to sell them in the amount of time they wanted to. And they need to make space for new inventory. It's an in and out. For your boutique, your store, you have to learn those principles. You have to be taught those principles to know, yes, you can try to hang on and get your original price, but what you're doing is wasting space where you could be moving on and doing something different and just letting that go. But if you don't even know, if you haven't done the groundwork, if you haven't laid the foundation to know what you can let things go for and all that, you hang on to those prices and then your inventory stalls because you got stuff stuck that you can't sell and you can't buy anything else because you need the money. It's just a churn. But when stores put stuff on sale, that's an example of them taking a risk, and sometimes it don't work out. Sometimes everything sells out at full price. That can happen. Sometimes they don't have to take as deep a discount as Old Navy did on those pants. I bought a coat several weeks ago. The regular price was about $1,000. I was like, I love you, coat, but I can't justify the grand. Actually, I could have. I just didn't have it that day. But later I checked on it. It was 40% off. I bought the coat. You trust to believe Dillard's is not losing. They're not losing. They took a risk that they get $1,000 for all the coats, but they also knew we're not going to get $1,000 for all the coats. Some of them will sell for less. All of that is built in. All of that is built into their pricing strategy, and their strategies for merchandising, their strategies for marketing, their strategies for placement and production. Everything has to have a strategy, but you can't build strategies when you're jumping to the website and buying stuff when you have none of that stuff in place. I can't tell you enough how risky it is for you to just jump out and be like, well, I don't know. I'm just going to go out here and see what happens. I'm going to depend on my friends and family to buy from me and refer people. That's not how business works. No business that stays in business for long depends on people sending them business by word of mouth. That's just not how it works. In the amount of time, and this is kind of off the topic, but in the amount of time it would take you to get enough referred traffic, you will be out of business because you cannot put your success, your business's revenue stream at the hands of people who don't even benefit from referring people to you. Even if they do benefit, that's not their job to send you traffic. So to say, I'm not going to pay for advertising because I don't want to spend money on marketing and might not be able to make sales, but you're not going to do marketing and think you're going to get sales, that's the more risky endeavor than marketing and maybe it doesn't get the traffic you want versus not doing any at all and hoping that your cousin tells enough people and convinces them to go and actually buy something. That's risky. That's the type of stuff that's risky. Not being prepared, not doing business like business, not having sufficient capital. All these things are a part of a risk structure that is harmful. The risk you need to take on is, first of all, being willing to start your business, going ahead and starting it, and then being willing to get the training that you need to know how to run a business, to be willing to borrow the funds to start your business right instead of doing a little ham scam business where it always is limping along. The longer you limp, the longer it's going to take to succeed, and you might not have enough time. But if you go ahead and take the risk, borrow the money, take the business loan out if they will let you, take out the loan and get enough money so you can start off the right way. So many people look at the risk of borrowing money and they use that as the reason to try to self-fund their business. So you know you need 30 grand to start your business the right way, but you're going to try to use $200 a month that you can squeeze out of your paycheck. You see how much longer that's going to take to get to where you want to go? Who's got that kind of time? Start the business the right way. You'll be able to attract the customer stream, and they're going to make up for the money you borrowed. But if you started off on a shoestring, yes, there are businesses that started on a shoestring, but do you want to spend 20 years building your business? Do you want to take forever to do that? No, you want to get free from your job this year if possible, right? Certainly in 2022. And that's not going to happen as long as you're playing small. It's not going to happen as long as you're playing small. And you got to trust MJ. I'm here for your good, but I'm telling you what I know, not what I think, but what I know. As long as you're scared to spend money on your business, or you are spending it, but in those risky ways where you're just out here randomly buying stuff, you got no merchandising strategy. You're just hoping you can put some stuff on Instagram and people are going to buy it. That is not a strategy. That is risky. As long as you're doing that, you're not going to get to $500,000. You're not. The businesses that get there are the ones that take the risk, the real risk, getting the capital that you need, putting your name out there, doing the things that make you uncomfortable, getting professional help to lay that groundwork. Because guess what? Another reason you're not laying the groundwork is because you don't know how. You don't know what you need to do. And that's okay. But it's not okay to not know how to build a business and just think you can just skip a bunch of stuff and you're just going to get lucky. Luck has nothing to do with it. Every blue moon, there might be a lucky thing, but it's not sustainable. What is sustainable, what keeps these chains and these individual stores in business for years are solid business practices. Think in your community about a store you've shopped at for years, one that's been there and has always got different inventory and they've got their customers and they're happy. Whatever business that is, you know the one you're thinking about right now. You think they did that spending $200 a month out of their paycheck? No, they had to borrow the money. They had to raise the money. They had to take it out of their 401k. They had to get a business loan. They had to, do a crowdfunding, whatever they had to do, but they weren't scared to put the money on the line, but they could start bigger and then grow faster. I know you might be thinking, I can just grow slow. I don't have to grow fast. There's a certain place where you're growing too slow and you can't get momentum and it just falls off. There is a sweet spot that you have to be growing at this rate for it to eventually take off. You can't just be inching along and think you're going to get to that $500,000 or that $1 million payday. Everybody I talk to always tells me they want to be a millionaire, but they made $50 last month on their business. And they're not willing to invest in learning the right ways to get it done. That's not going to get you to $1 million. That chick, I use her all the time because I'm so proud of a crayon case lady, did not make $1 million in 90 minutes playing it safe. I'm telling you, not what I think, but what I know. You've got to be willing to put that work in. You don't have to do it the way she did it. You may have other strategies, but you got to build your strategies first before you can implement them. And just randomly buying a bunch of crap and thinking it's just going to sell, that just doesn't work. And it hurts my heart to hear people thinking that that's all it takes. I'm just going to buy some stuff and I'm just going to have some stuff and people will buy it. That's not how business works. That's not how business works. You have to have a marketing strategy. You have to know how to engage with your tribe and get them excited about what you're doing. Because, even loyal customers don't shop every month. They don't shop every week, depending on what you sell. You've got to have a way to have a constant influx of new blood into your business to the point where you have to scale. So you can quit your job and go full time and hire a team and all those things. That's not going to happen while you're playing it safe. The risk you should be taking, you're not taking. You got to take a risk. You got to take a chance of getting outside your comfort zone, because avoiding risk and trying to stay in your comfort zone is keeping you small. It's keeping you from building the business that you really dream of building, that's going to give you your freedom, the income potential, and the impact that you want to make in the world. And I don't want that for you. I want everybody to be free. I want everybody to be able to enjoy what it's like to wake up when you want to travel when you want to take care of the people and causes you care about the way you want to, and to have peace of mind, to not live paycheck to paycheck and always be worrying about, robbing Peter to pay Paul and all that. I want that for each one of you. But it's going to take getting outside of your comfort zone and taking on the right kind of risk and letting that unhealthy risk go. And if you need help doing any of this, figuring out what am I doing wrong? What are the risks I'm taking I shouldn't be taking? And what are the risks I need to take? If you're ready to build that confidence and that boldness and just say, you know what? I'm more afraid of staying stuck where I am than I'm afraid of moving into the unknown. If you are that person, who either is that courageous or you want to become that courageous, then I would love to talk to you. Book a call. It's a free breakthrough call on my calendar, MelanieHunter.com/chat. Book a call, fill out the application, because if I don't get an application, I'm probably going to cancel your call. You have to follow the instructions. But when we get on the call, we're going to have an exciting, fun conversation about your dreams, about your business, about what you want, about the risks you need to take right now. You've got to take some risks to get the rewards. There are no rewards in life without a risk, but you can't take the wrong kind of risks. And the wrong kind of risk is playing small, thinking you're saving yourself when really you're hurting yourself more. I don't want you to do that. So we're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about, what do you need to be doing right now? Where do you need to step outside your comfort zone? Because here's the thing. Every entrepreneur who's having any level of success has a little bit of fear every single day, a little bit of discomfort they have to do. But because of that, they get rewarded. They get the payday. They get the popularity. They get the sales, whatever it is that they're doing. The same can be true of you, but you got to be willing to step out there. So book your call right now, MelanieHunter.com/chat. Fill out the application and let's have a conversation. This is not for dabblers. This is not for the curious. I just want to see. I'm talking about people that are so afraid of staying stuck in your cubicle prison that you will do anything to escape the 9-to-5 grind and go out and pursue your dream. You got to be more afraid of the risks of staying stuck where you are than you are of the risks of moving forward. And when you are in that position, you are primed for success. And I want to talk to you. MelanieHunter with 2Ls.com/chat. That's going to do it for me, loved ones. Check it out. We will be back on Friday with another exciting training broadcast. Do not miss it. I will talk to you soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye.